All right, so let's talk about my value system and the story behind it. I basically call it my creeds. So, I think 7 years ago at this point, I started this whole phase of reading a lot of self improvement books, a lot of productivity books, self help category basically. And I would be proud of saying how I've read like 50 plus books and all that stuff. And I created a whole value system around basically what I read and what the authors told me to value. And I thought, this was a great value system. Like, oh, it's tried and true. So many people also agree with it. And it felt good to have that as my value system. But as time went on, I sort of like would occasionally look at that list, like of my supposed core values, the most like important things that I would try to keep to and all that stuff. But eventually, I found myself not really feeling like it really matched me. And at a certain point, about 3 years ago now, I just dumped that list completely and started all over. So that's where my creeds came into existence. I was like, okay, let's start over and let's think back or just feel what I'm experiencing right now and decide then and there like what my values are based on that emotion, based on that feeling. And through that method, I've created a whole list of new values that are all unique to me. Like some of them, I'm sure some other people might have come to a similar conclusion and share those values. But the combination of words and the meaning especially behind those words are purely unique to me because each value is anchored to like something that has happened to me in my life and something that I feel very like deep down and personally, instead of just some phrase like, oh, try never to lie or something like that. That's not part of the list. But I want to share every single one of these creeds eventually through these videos where I basically just talk to the camera. It's the easiest format that I can think of to share it. At a certain point, I thought it would be a good idea to just like write articles about each of these, like how they came about, all the nuances, all like tell the story about the anchors. But no, it's a bit too much. I feel like it's easy enough to just talk about them. But this is just the starting video to describe that, that's the story behind like me starting them up and why. Yeah, I guess like with age, you just kind of realize that a lot of the things that you're told, a lot of the things that are part of life that you're used to, part of society, like everything you hear, everything that you see is just always, it's always like an external sort of source that tells you what you should think, how you should see things, and what you should believe, and what you should feel, and all that stuff. And this whole system, this whole change that I went through in the past 3 years is kind of like a counter against all of that. It's kind of like me starting from zero, like just breaking myself down to like the most blank state that I can be in and just asking myself, what do I truly, truly feel and value? And of course, a lot of that is going to be influenced by everything I've heard throughout my life. Of course, it's going to be influenced by the society around me, but at the same time, at the very least, it is something I truly, truly, truly feel. And I can be proud of that, and I can really, really say that it is a value of mine. So I'll go ahead and start that up. I'll make it a playlist as well, so you can check the description down below, and we'll talk about each of them. We'll also say that a big influence of this was Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. I'll face the camera this way because my hand is getting tired. But in Stormlight Archive, each character or each main character basically says oaths, like a statement that they try to follow no matter what. Um, and during the story, each of these oaths is said during like a very pivotal moment. It's said like during moments that are like do or die, and the climax of the stories. And there's it's so much emotional buildup, so much like story buildup as well. And I felt like it was just so perfect to also sort of like take that method and use it in my own life, where you know my life is my story, and these very very emotional moments, I can look at them, reflect on them, and take away like some sort of oath or value statement from it. So that's basically what I have done, and that should be it in terms of me starting off with this series. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.